After my wife cheated, I teamed up with her affair partner's wife for ultimate revenge. I, 36M, found my wife Julie, 32F, with my colleague Marcus making out on the patio at the Christmas party. Marcus works in the same department as me. I'm yet to have any confrontation with Julie, so whatever I'm writing is based on what I've seen and circumstantial evidence. I suspect their affair started after the last Christmas party, but they had cleverly been hiding it. I was new at this workplace, and it was my first office party. Before that, Marcus and I didn't share a good bond at work, not because I was new, but because he considered me a threat. In the very first week of my joining, I was handed over some of Marcus's tasks, which I efficiently automated using my software skills. The work that Marcus took a week to do, I delivered in 3 days, which impressed everyone but Marcus. He tried different ways to find a loophole in my work, but he couldn't. He was heavily criticized by the management for not thinking of something similar to me. However, this didn't help me much in the office. Marcus was a popular guy, more of an imposter and gossip monger. People love gossip, don't they? So he was the one to be in every office group, whereas I'm more of an introverted person who likes to keep to myself. I go to work, fulfill my responsibilities, and head back home. I was happy with my small circle of college buddies and my wife. 2 months later, we had this annual Christmas party at work. I showed up with my wife. Julie is definitely a beautiful woman and a head-turner at any party. She makes sure to dress up well to show off her perfect, symmetrical assets. Julie and I were enjoying ourselves and bonding with other coworkers. As the night grew, people started hitting the dance floor. Julie insisted that we dance, but I refused. I'm not a confident dancer, definitely not at office parties. I think Marcus noticed that because the next moment I saw him approaching our table and asking for my wife's hand for a dance. She looked at me, and I smiled. I couldn't say no in that situation. I thought she would turn him down, knowing the history between us, but Julie obliged and danced with him. I couldn't help but notice the grin on his face when he took her to the dance floor. When she came back, she was full of energy and laughter. Seeing my grim face, she said, "Oh, don't be mad at me. How could I refuse him? It would have been so rude, so I had to oblige." I realized she was right, and it was just a dance. Eventually, I forgot about it. I got busy at work and didn't ever imagine that my wife would be fooling around with the person who had been my pain in the butt for a year. At this year's Christmas party yesterday, I showed up with my wife again. She hit the dance floor with some of my female colleagues but soon was seen grooving with Marcus. I was like, what the hell, but had to pretend to be cool about it. Other colleagues were quick to notice and exchanged glances. Everyone is aware of the Cold War between Marcus and me. One of them, Noah, remarked, "This is why Marcus doesn't bring his wife along, so he can shake off others' wives' booties." My face flushed at this comment. I asked him to mind his language. He apologized and said he was just trying to be funny to lighten the situation. Other colleagues started debating whether Marcus was married, because he claims to be single. A few of them suspect he's married but hides it so he can have open chances with the juniors. Noah was certain that Marcus was married, but no one believed him fully because of his prankster image. He said his sister runs a salon, and one day he dropped by to meet her there, bumping into Marcus, who was accompanying his wife for a grooming session. Everyone just laughed at this, thinking he was making it up. I felt suffocated sitting there, watching Julie shake her booty with Marcus. I went to the patio to get some fresh air. A few minutes later, I heard footsteps approaching outside. I ignored it, but as they came closer, I heard giggles and moans, as if they were making out on their way to the patio. To avoid getting bumped into, I hid in a corner at the back to escape once they were in. A moment later, I saw a couple enter the patio with their lips locked and hands all over each other. They were none other than Marcus and my lovely wife. He held her by the waist with one hand, while the other was inside her dress. My wife was holding his face with both hands, lost in pleasure. I wanted to beat the crap out of them right there, but instead, I pulled out my phone and recorded everything. It was dark, yet the dim light did its job of capturing the scene. Marcus held her by the neck and pushed her away from his face, saying, "We don't have much time before your low-life husband comes searching for you. Let me give you a good show." She giggled and bent on all fours. All of it got recorded. My body went numb. I felt nothing. I don't know how long it was before a janitor showed up with a garbage bin. They hurriedly covered themselves up and left, cursing the janitor for interrupting their blissful time. After the janitor left, finishing up his business, I came out of my hideout, headed straight to my car, and drove off. I crashed at my friend's place and made him listen to my sob story until morning. When I checked my phone, I saw one missed call from Julie. It seemed like a courtesy call to show me she was looking for me. I bet she was happy to see me disappear so she could get banged by her lover in the open. This afternoon I came home. She was still sleeping. Understandable, she must have been sore from last night's action. I went to my study to hatch my revenge. Her cheating on me is hurtful, but sleeping with the man who has made my life miserable makes it even more outrageous. Right now, I'm scavenging for Marcus's wife. I'm going to find her and send her the videos of his cheating. All of Marcus's social media accounts are private. I can't see his friends list. I don't even know her name. In fact, I don't even know if she exists. If you guys have any tricks for finding a stranger on social media, please help me out. I would appreciate any help on that front. Thanks. The holiday season, a time for festive cheer, office parties, and apparently scandalous rendezvous on the patio. Your colleague Marcus sure knows how to turn up the heat at the Christmas bash, doesn't he? Yikes. Honestly, a guy like him would definitely leech his way into your personal life and seduce your wife. He gets off on it. As for finding Marcus's wife and exposing his cheating ways, it's best to tread carefully. Jumping into the fray without a plan could backfire, leaving you in an even worse situation. Take your time to gather evidence and consider your options carefully. You've got to make your next move a good one, a force to be reckoned with. Update 1. One of the most common comments here was, "How did I not see this coming? Was there no sign at all?" Well, I don't know if that was truly a sign or if I had too much faith in my wife. A few months after the first Christmas party, I think it was around spring, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed when I noticed Marcus's comments on Julie's posts. I was taken aback. I asked her if she was in touch with him. She said no, he was just her Facebook friend, like thousands of others. She said Marcus had sent her a friend request after that party, and she had accepted it. That's it, no big deal. I got alert and reviewed her profile more often. I saw Marcus's generous comments with heart emoticons on each of her photos. I asked her about this, and she said it was just one of those hundreds of comments she gets on her pictures. Julie is not a social media influencer, but she's very active there and her profile is open. I told her that Marcus is not one of the 100 strangers who comment on her pictures. He and I are not on good terms at work. He doesn't even talk to me at work. Then why the hell is he interested in my wife's pictures? She replied sarcastically. You should ask him. Her response infuriated me, and I yelled. He is no one to me. I cannot question him, but you are my wife. It hurts me to see you in touch with someone whose sole motive in life is to pull me down. Marcus had pulled many tricks at work to show me in a bad light. He had been successful a couple of times. I was severely criticized by my manager. Marcus is also a bootlicker and had manipulated our manager into his camp. Julie knows everything about my office politics, yet she let Marcus's flirtatious comments slide into her inbox. This was until July of this year. Then, my department bagged a new project, and for that, I had to travel twice every month to the client's office in Seattle. Work got really hectic, and I barely had time to think about anything else. Marcus and I were both on the same team and had similar job responsibilities, but somehow he was always free, leering in the lobby, while I was immersed in work. It was so overwhelming, but I took it as a learning opportunity and worked my butt off during this time. I found Julie getting emotionally distant from me. I thought it was because of my work commitments and travel schedule. I tried to make it up by taking her to fancy dinners on weekends and buying expensive gifts for her. She never complained about my travel or my absence at home. She didn't even acknowledge the growing coldness between us, and this was bothering me. I insisted to my manager not to send me for work trips so frequently, or at least shuffle it between me and Marcus, but he refused. He said I was more skilled to handle the client there. I said, "Then why does he get all the Achievers Awards every quarter while all I get is criticism?" He had no answer but gave me a false promise that he would recommend my name for the next promotion. He was a bad liar. It was evident on his face that he was not going to do that. Talking about Julie, when she woke up after her long slumber that evening, she asked me why I left her alone at the party. I said, "You needed me? I thought you were having a fun time with your new friend." She laughed and said, "Oh, don't be a jealous baby, it was just a dance." I smiled and let it slide. She thought I was angry that she was dancing with Marcus. I let her think that, because I'm going to attack them without any warning. My search for Marcus's wife has yielded no results yet. I tried with Marcus's surname, but the search results were overwhelming. I'm thinking about fishing out Marcus's address from the company's database and heading to his home. I find no other option than this. Any better suggestion than this is most welcome. Isn't a friend request basically like second base nowadays? It seems Marcus is not only a master manipulator at work but also a social media seducer extraordinaire. Heart emojis? Really, Marcus? Are we in middle school? And it was just a dance. Ah, yes, the old dance floor diplomacy maneuver. Because nothing says innocent like getting down with your office nemesis while your spouse watches from the sidelines. That's a low blow. If she wanted to lay low and not raise any eyebrows, that's not how you do it. Update 2. As some of you mentioned, it is next to impossible to find someone without a name or handle on social media. I was almost certain to go to his house and find his wife, but then my friend reminded me about my colleague Noah. I felt he knew about Marcus's wife and could help me out here. Though he's a big-mouthed person and I'm not very fond of him, I needed his help. The next day, when I went to work, I casually got into a conversation with him and asked if he knew about Marcus's wife. He smirked and said, "I knew you would ask about her, especially after last night's twerking." Yeah, that's how he is, an annoying piece of crap. I wanted to ask him about her name but didn't have the courage to do so. Maybe he sensed the desperation and helplessness on my face and asked, "Do you want to know her name or contact?" I immediately blurted it out in excitement. "Please." He told me her name, and said that he would ask his sister for her number. I searched with her name across all social media platforms and found her on Twitter. I told Noah that the number was not required. As per her Twitter bio, she was working in a management position at one of the leading global organizations. I texted her, saying I needed to talk to her about something very important regarding her husband. She responded with her number and asked me to call. Her response gave me the vibe of a confident and poignant woman. I called her and introduced myself. I told her subtly that her husband and my wife were up to something, and I had the video of them together. She asked me if I could meet her after work. I said sure. When I went to meet her, I was mesmerized by her aura. She's definitely a woman of value and wit. I wondered how any man could cheat on such beauty with brains. That's right, only a fool like Marcus would. I narrated the details and showed her the video. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she remained composed. She was shocked to know that the office party had an invitation for spouses because Marcus told her that spouses were not invited. I asked her if she had never doubted him. She said she had caught him twice texting some random woman on social media, but it wasn't severe, so she forgave him. I told her that Marcus claims to be single and has this reputation as an F-boy at work, and has been associated with many junior colleagues. She cursed at the top of her voice. She had been holding herself until then. She said, "That son of a bee needs to be taught a lesson. Do you have any plans in mind?" I said, "No, not right now, but I'm definitely going to make them pay for all the humiliation." She said, "Let's do it together. Now we are in on this together, planning our revenge." We've come up with some very amusing ways to ruin Julie and Marcus. We'll update the thread after the final nail in the coffin. Update 3. Hold your seatbelt, this is going to be wild. Julie and Marcus have been served with hot, piping revenge. Sandra, 33F, and I came up with the following revenge plan. We turned blind eyes to their affair. Though we knew they were lying about the sleepovers with friends, we let it slide. We both pretended to be so busy with our work that we didn't give a damn. Julie and I co-owned the house. I made an updated document where Julie made me the sole owner of the house and got her to sign it, not forcefully, but tactically. She was once heading out to meet her affair partner, lying that she was going shopping with friends. I deliberately blocked the restroom wardrobe and made her run late. When she was about to leave, I asked her to sign an insurance renewal document. It wasn't suspicious because I pay for all her insurance. She just signs it and gets it done. Between those papers, I slipped in the house ownership document. She signed all of them without seeing them. Sandra emptied all the money from their joint bank account, borrowed Marcus's car, and sold it off to a rookie. The house in which Sandra lived was hers, which she secretly leased out to a new tenant and got a restraining order against Marcus on that property. I blocked all the cards on which Julie was surviving. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 were carried out toward the tail end of the revenge plan, just before ghosting them. Sandra bought a 5-day couple's holiday to Florida as a birthday gift for Marcus. But a day before the trip, she lied that something had come up at work and she couldn't make it. Marcus quickly suggested that he could take the trip with his guy. Sandra agreed because it was a non-refundable package. During the same time, I lied to Julie that I was going on a 15-day work trip. I checked into a hotel during that period. She called me and said she was going to her school friend's wedding in Vegas. I asked her which friend this was that I didn't know of. She said they had not been in touch for so long but suddenly reconnected and Julie couldn't say no. I said, "Sure, have fun." She was feeding me lie after lie. Marcus and Julie went on that 5-day vacation to Florida which Sandra had bought. We used that time to execute our plans. Sandra emptied the joint account, sold his car, rented out her house, and got a restraining order against him. I blocked the cards that Julie had been using, packed up her stuff, and kept it in storage. The details would reach her through the mail, along with the updated property papers and a restraining order, after she returns. This would have been all if Marcus had left me alone at work, but no. He went behind my back. He proudly told his work buddies that he had been sleeping with my wife because I couldn't fulfill her needs. He made outrageous comments hinting at me. He even showed Julie's chats to his friends, where she expressed her desires for Marcus, and mocked me for only giving her vanilla sex, while Marcus gave her a thrilling time. He used to read out her chats loudly to humiliate me, without taking my name. I decided to use this against him and recorded everything. Some of the coworkers from Marcus's camp even approached me to humiliate me, saying that Marcus had taken my wife. I mailed all the details to the company's HR, demanding Marcus's termination on the grounds of mental harassment. I even threatened management that I would leak all the workplace harassment details on social media and other review platforms. This negative PR would cost the company a lot, and HR promised me that if the evidence proved Marcus was a bully, he would be terminated as soon as he came back from his 5-day leave. I have also submitted my resignation and asked for immediate release. I left a letter for Julie, which she would get after returning from the trip. It would give her closure. It consisted of more or less the same things I've mentioned in this update, with a little extra detail. I told her the truth about Marcus, that he is not single as he claimed, and that he has a wife who is now my girlfriend. Sandra and I connected over our betrayal and realized that we have so much in common. She's a smart and witty woman with a flourishing career, while my loser wife is a bum. She's never done a full-time job, and her part-time job seemed like a burden to her. She used to complain about it all the time. I'm amused to imagine her dilemma when she would have to work full-time because now she doesn't have me to provide for her, and her loser lover doesn't have a job either. Sandra slipped off with Marcus's credit card just as she was leaving for the trip. He would have found it missing after reaching Florida. The situation in Florida is going to be hilarious. Marcus has no cards, and I blocked Julie. Sandra also called the hotel to cancel the booking just before Marcus and Julie were about to arrive in Florida. She didn't get any refund, but who cares? We would give up anything to watch the fun these losers go through on their lust trip. Sandra and I have also decided not to divorce these losers because we don't want to waste any more money on them. If they want to get rid of us, they can pay for it, which looks highly unlikely now. We both have updated our wills and removed them from all of our assets. In case anything unforeseen happens to us, they won't get anything by default as our spouses. Sandra and I are moving to Seattle to start a fresh life. I got an offer from the client company to join them directly, with a raise that's double my last salary. Sandra said she wanted to take a break from work and enjoy life for some time. She has enough savings to last for a couple of years without worry. Our belongings are already on the way to Seattle. By the time Marcus and Julie return, we'll be away on a month-long holiday to the Caribbean, basking in the sun. It's so much fun with Sandra, a woman who matches my intellect and curiosity. I feel so lively again. We're not seeing this as our forever, but we're enjoying our time together while it lasts. Oh, to be a fly on the wall when they realize their paradise vacation has turned into a comedy of errors. Honestly, I'm proud of myself. This is masterful. This is the superhero ending we all needed, where the losers get left in the dust while I ride off into the sunset, laughing all the way to the Caribbean with a bombshell of a lady. Nothing says soulmate quite like finding someone who's not just willing, but eager, to scorch the earth with you. Because let's face it, anyone can hold your hand through the good times, but it takes a special kind of partner to light the match. What do you make of all this? Have you found new love like this in the most unsuspecting of places? Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.